Would you pursue the same route again? And by that, I mean sort of the college education and then seeking a graduate job. We said at the start of this that fewer and fewer job ads now are requiring sort of formal educational qualifications. They're looking at life experience. Would you do it again, and the cost that goes with college? Do you think that was worth it?
There were some things that I gained from college that were priceless, like my friends or the professors, that I got to meet and that got to help me through college. But I think the price that I paid for what I had learned, I don't think I had to pay. I think a lot of this information now is available and it's very organized. And there's, a lot of these corporations put out classes or they create, 10-week, 20-week classes that you can learn a lot of the technical skills. I think, I'll credit college that it definitely gave me a way of thinking. But then again, like I don't think I needed to pay that much to have that way of thought. I think that would have also come naturally through life experience or through, starting my own business.
We sometimes have something called survival bias, right? So
Yeah.
when people go to university and then they describe the experience of university, it's like anything. You will always get something from doing something, but it doesn't mean it's worth. I mean, in England, for example, people are getting in $50,000-$60,000 worth of debt. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We need to make sure this gets through to people, because the machine that is a business, that is university, is selling that you can get a job when you come out the other end, which we know now is not true. And then they also sell this friend network as if somehow the network would never be achieved if you didn't go to university, and it's not true. I started a business at 15 years old. I met people. I made a network through building businesses, other entrepreneurs, clients, brands. I have built a network by living life.
But all of this is about confidence and having a bit of cash to put on the line, isn't it? The confidence that you've got a great idea and then the money to back it up. We all need that, don't we, to start a business?
You do not need money to start a business. What you need is financial literacy. This whole thing about needing money to start a business is a narrative that is untrue, and it's stopping a lot of people following their purpose. It's stopping a lot of people from even dreaming. They don't even turn on the dream mechanism. The idea in their head doesn't even come alive because they think they need money. You don't need money to start a business. I was 15 years old when I started a business, and I had no money and I was homeless. It's very simple. You just need to understand how money works. For example, if you go to a client and you say, I'd like to offer you a service, and then they say yes to that service, you can ask them for a 50% deposit. It's very normal in business, a 50% deposit. And then that 50% deposit, if you do it right, should cover all your costs. And then when you deliver the service, and this is what I did, when I finally delivered what I promised, I got the final 50%, and that was my profit. So this whole idea you need money to start a business is just crazy. It's not true. You can work for a company for 10 years, you can put your heart and soul into that business, and if you don't own equity in that company, they can lay you off today. That's it. All that 10 years of work to build that company up, you don't own it, you don't own equity in it, you're out. And to me, that's the risk. You waste years of your life building something you don't own. And if you work for yourself, yes, there are cases where businesses fail. I've had many businesses that have failed. In fact, I would argue if my businesses hadn't failed, I wouldn't be successful today. But every single time I built a business, I own equity in that company. The time I put into that brand, I own it. So no one can get rid of me, or more importantly, my ownership over that equity. And this is the important thing people need to learn within financial literacy. If you own equity somewhere, higher chance long-term of being successful. If you don't own equity, higher chance you can be cut off at any minute with nothing in return for years of hard work.
And Oliver, a final thought from you. Look, you might find yourself in a position like Simon to be able to start advising people on how to do it, what you've learned. What would you say to someone who's maybe looking for a job right now with a big organisation in your position as you were earlier this year? What's your advice?
I would say find something that you find interest in or passion in, and see how far you can take that. See if you can turn that into a side thing at least.